Dahil ho siguro hindi ako nakapagmisa dito kahapon, Tuesday, nakakondition ako na ang gospel ko for this evening is for Tuesday, Wednesday na ho pala. And I hope you don't mind that I just share the reflection that I prepared for yesterday's gospel about peace. Well, that gospel yesterday about peace was the favorite biblical text of a good friend of mine, the late Nandi Pacheco. I know him to be one of the most staunch peace advocates of the Catholic Church in the Philippines. And it was his main source of inspiration for advocacy for a gunless, non-violent society. And by the way, in case you do not know, he passed on, namatay siya noong February of this year. And in his memory, I want to focus our reflection this evening on the question, what is the peace that Christ brings? And why is it different from the peace that the world promises? Minsan, and I think naikwento ko na ito sa ibang homily, narinig ko yung isang senador being interviewed on public television na hindi raw siya masaya doon sa linya o huling linya ng lupang hinirang. That line that says, ang mamatay ng dahil sa iyo. Kasi masyado daw defeatist ang dating. Hindi daw ba kaya mas maganda, palitan na lang siya ng ang ipaglaban ang kalayaan mo. Well, actually, there was nothing bad about his idea. Sa konteksto ng kasalukuyan nangyayari ngayon sa Europa with regard to the Russian invasion of Ukraine, totoo naman, we have every reason to be vigilant in defending our own national sovereignty. Sino bang nag-aakala na babalik na naman sa uso ang mga wars of occupation? But you know, ironically, ang presidente ng Russia ang nagsasabi na kaya daw niya ang ginagawa niya ngayon sa Ukraine, it is in defense of his country. Pinagtatanggol niya ang kanyang bansa. For him, the mere intention of Ukraine to join the NATO was already a threat to Russian security. In Tagalog, ang logic ay ganito, kesa unahan niyo ko, uunahan ko na kayo. And the idea is, it is safer to be ready for the offensive than to give your enemy the chance to strike back, to strike at you. Ito yung psychology ng arms race. At ito rin yung nag-guarantee ng good business in the arms industries all over the world. For the warmongers, there is no better way of achieving peace than a show of force. Parang umayos ka dyan, kundi baka malintikan ka. I think this is what the late Nandi Pacheco calls the kind of peace that the world can offer. And the advocates of this kind of approach think that a nation can only achieve peace by building its military might. Yung prinsipyo baga you can only keep yourself or your home or your family or your country secure by arming yourself, by having the capacity to go on an offensive when self-defense calls for it. And when does it call for it? Well, that is often dictated not by reason but by fear, insecurity, mutual distrust, the presumption of ill will. Baliktad yung prinsipyo. Imbes na ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo, ginagawang ang pumatay ng dahil sa'yo. That's the kind of reasoning that we hear from some bullies who patronize the weak and who would say, akong bahala sa'yo. You are safe with me. And I will kill anyone who will threaten you. Kaya, wag mag-iingat sila. Usually, they are full of bravado, arrogance, and machismo. At mabilis din silang mag-label ng kanilang mga tinatawag na kaaway before targeting them with violence. All of it is justified in the name of peace and order. That is the kind of peace that is usually promised by worldly leaders, but it is not the peace of Jesus Christ. Kaya, we should ask again, so what is the peace that Christ is offering us? And the gospel is articulating it. Well, for Jesus, the only thing that humanizes us, the only thing that saves us from our natural animal tendencies is our capacity for love. That's why ang kasunod ng gospel na binasa natin ngayon is love as the only thing that will make us remain in Him and He in us. Kaya ang tawag ni Jesus sa love is ang bagong kautusan. It is the new commandment. Because it saves us from our instincts to be violent, to return evil for evil. Si St. Paul has that beautiful chapter in 1 Corinthians 13. Parang may mga instructions siya doon on how to grow in the love of Christ by being patient and kind, not jealous, not arrogant, not rude, not quick-tempered or resentful, not brooding over injury, etc. So, for us Christians, learning to love like Christ is the key to the peace that the world cannot give. It teaches us never to desire the destruction even of your own enemies. It would rather die than kill for the sake of the beloved. Di ba? No greater love one has than to lay down your life for the ones you love. Para sa ating mga Kristiyano, itong kapayapaan na ito is not just a utopian vision. Not only is it possible, it is the only way to peace. Siyempre, the real challenge is committing ourselves to this vision of Christ. Take note, Jesus is not talking about peace as just a product of our human efforts. Above all, it is a gift. It is a gift that we must constantly pray for, even as we are working hard for it. I don't know if you've heard that liturgical song that expresses this very well. It says, if there's one more gift I'd ask of you, Lord, it would be peace. Peace on earth, as gentle as your children's laughter all around, all around.